Today, we're diving into how Lego went from a small workshop in Denmark to a global phenomenon that shaped generations of creativity. Chapter 1: A Carpenter's Dream. Lego's story begins in 1932 in the small town of Billund, Denmark. Its founder, Ole Kirk Christensen, was a skilled carpenter, but the Great Depression had devastated the construction industry. With fewer people able to afford new buildings or furniture, Ole began making small wooden household items. Eventually, he shifted to wooden toys, including pull-along animals, trucks, and yo-yos. In 1934, Ole named this company Lego, derived from the Danish phrase "leg godt," meaning play well. This wasn't just a name, it was a philosophy. Ole believed that toys should encourage imagination, be durable and safe, and help children learn through play. His motto became, "Only the best is good enough." This principle guided Lego's obsession with quality, even when resources were scarce. During World War II, materials were limited, and Denmark was under Nazi occupation. Despite these challenges, Lego continued producing toys and training apprentices, keeping the company alive during incredibly difficult years. Chapter 2: Fire, Failure, and a Radical Bet. In 1942, a catastrophe struck. A massive fire destroyed Lego's workshop and nearly all of its inventory. Instead of giving up, Ole rebuilt, larger and more modern than before. After the war, Lego faced another crossroads. In 1947, Ole made a bold and controversial decision. He invested in a plastic injection molding machine, becoming one of the first toy companies in Denmark to work with plastic. At the time, plastic toys were seen as cheap, unreliable, and inferior to wood. Even Ole's own employees were skeptical. But Ole saw plastic's potential: consistency, scalability, and precision. In 1949, Lego released its first plastic bricks called automatic binding bricks. These were inspired by a British toy called Kittycraft. But Lego continued redefining the design. The turning point came in 1958 when Lego patented the stud and tube coupling system. This innovation dramatically improved stability, versatility, and reusability. It transformed Lego bricks into a true building system, not just a toy. Tragically, Ole passed away later the same year, never fully seeing how world-changing his invention would become. Chapter 3: The Lego System and Global Expansion. Ole's son, Gottfried Kirk Christensen, took over leadership and pushed Lego forward with a revolutionary idea: the Lego system in play. The concept was simple but powerful. Every Lego piece should work with every other piece across all sets, themes, and generations. In 1960, another fire destroyed Lego's remaining wooden toy warehouse. This time, Lego made a permanent decision. They abandoned wooden toys entirely and focused 100% on plastic bricks. Throughout the 1960s, Lego expanded rapidly. Factories opened outside Denmark. Lego entered markets across Europe, North America, and Asia. Instruction manuals became more structured and universal. In 1968, Lego opened its first Legoland park in Billund, built entirely from Lego bricks. It became one of Denmark's biggest tourist attractions almost overnight. Then, in 1978, Lego introduced one of its most important innovations: the Lego minifigure. For the first time, Lego worlds had characters with faces, jobs, and personalities, allowing children to tell stories, not just build structures. Chapter 4: Themes, Franchises, and Pop Culture. The late 20th century was Lego's golden age of creativity. Iconic themes emerged, including Lego City, Lego Castle, Lego Space, and Lego Pirates. These themes weren't just toys. They were story worlds. In the 90s, LEGO began experimenting with robotics, which are the LEGO Mindstorm sets, video games, and educational products. But the biggest shift came in 1999 when LEGO released its first licensed set, LEGO Star Wars. This partnership changed LEGO forever. Licensed themes allowed LEGO to attract older fans, tap into existing fandoms, and expand into pop culture. Soon, LEGO partnered with franchises like Harry Potter, Marvel, DC, and Lord of the Rings. However, rapid expansion came with a cost. Chapter 5: Crisis and the Greatest Comeback. By the early 2000s, LEGO was in serious trouble. The company created many unique parts, overextended into clothing, TV shows, and theme parks, and lost focus on the core building experience. By 2003, LEGO was losing nearly $1 million per day. Many believed LEGO would fail. So let's break down exactly what had happened. Essentially, LEGO lost focus on its core product. For decades, LEGO's success came from one simple idea: a universal building system based on compatible bricks. But in the late 1990s, LEGO began expanding aggressively into clothing, lifestyle products, theme parks, video games, TV content, and highly specialized sets with thousands of unique pieces. This caused two major problems: exploding production costs and loss of system compatibility, which weakened LEGO's main strength. By the early 2000s, LEGO was producing over 12,000 unique parts, far more than necessary. This led to massive financial losses, and the consequences were severe. In 2003, LEGO lost about $1 million per day. The company was carrying heavy debt, cash flow was dangerously low, and some analysts believe LEGO would need to be sold or broken apart. This was especially shocking because LEGO had never posted a loss for most of its history before this period. There was also a leadership and identity crisis. So internally, LEGO faced conflicting leadership visions. There was tension between creativity and profitability, and a company culture that resisted hard financial discipline. LEGO was trying to be a toy company, a media company, and a lifestyle brand, and it was failing at all three of these. So the core question became, what is LEGO actually supposed to be? This led to the turnaround and going back to basics. This turnaround began when Jørgen Vig Knudstorp became CEO in 2004, the first non-family leader in LEGO's history. He made difficult but crucial decisions. He cut thousands of unnecessary parts, sold off theme parks, outsourced some manufacturing, refocused on the classic brick system, and actively listened to adult fans and designers. Instead of fighting its fan base, LEGO embraced it. This reset allowed LEGO to regain profitability, creative clarity, and brand trust. So why was this LEGO's greatest challenge? Fires, wars, and technological shifts were serious, but survivable. The early 2000s crisis was different because LEGO almost lost its identity. The threat came from internal decisions, not external disasters, and failure would have meant the end of an iconic brand. LEGO didn't just survive, it redefined itself. So, in a sentence, LEGO's greatest challenge was nearly destroying itself by expanding too far and forgetting what made it special, and then having the courage to reverse course. And identity is extremely crucial for LEGO, a company making bricks, to set itself aside from its competitors, which brings us in to Chapter 6, LEGO and its competition. LEGO had dealt with competitors in a very distinctive way. Instead of trying to win through price wars or constant imitation, LEGO focused on design protection, system consistency, brand trust, and community loyalty. That approach helped it survive waves of competition for nearly a century. Here's how LEGO did it, historically and strategically. So, LEGO built a system that competitors couldn't match. From the late 1950s onwards, LEGO didn't just sell toys, it sold a building system. And this mattered because Lego bricks were perfectly compatible across decades. Sets could be endlessly recombined, and parents trusted that new sets would work with old ones. All the while, most competitors sold one-off construction kits and incompatible or disposable designs. Even if rivals were cheaper, they couldn't afford the same long-term value that Lego did. Additionally, Lego was a big proponent in using patents and adapting when they expired. So, Lego patented its stud-and-tube brick design in 1958, giving it legal protection for decades. During this time, competitors were legally blocked from copying the exact brick design. Lego focused on refining quality and expanding globally. The patents went on to expire throughout the 1970s and 1980s, and this was a critical moment. Many companies began producing Lego-compatible bricks at lower prices. Instead of competing solely on cost, Lego doubled down on precision manufacturing. It maintained stricter quality standards and positioned itself as the premium brand. So Lego accepted that copies would exist, and it chose to outclass them. Additionally, Lego invested heavily in ultra-tight manufacturing tolerances, in child safety testing, and consistent clutch power and durability. A Lego brick can withstand thousands of connections and separations, extreme temperatures, and decades of use without deforming. Whereas competitors often used cheaper plastics, had inconsistent fits, and wore out and cracked over time. And parents noticed this and kept buying Lego. Additionally, Lego created differentiation through stories and themes. Rather than chasing every trend, Lego created distinct theme worlds, such as city, space, castle, and pirates. And later on, partnering with major franchises such as Star Wars, Harry Potter, and Marvel and DC. And these partnerships created an emotional attachment, not just functional toys. So most competitors couldn't secure or sustain these licenses, or they lacked Lego's design depth. A huge competitive advantage came from Lego's relationship with fans. So Lego supported adult fan communities, it invited fans into product design, launched platforms like Lego Ideas, and it allowed and encouraged fan creativity. So competitors at the same time rarely had dedicated adult fan bases. They didn't enjoy the same multi-generational loyalty that Lego saw, and did not pursue user-driven product pipelines. Essentially, Lego turned its fans into brand ambassadors. Furthermore, Lego went on to learn from mistakes with competition. In the early 2000s, Lego briefly tried to chase trends. It overcomplicated its products and was competing directly with video games and electronics. So this nearly destroyed the company. After its turnaround, Lego adopted a new rule, which was to never compete where Lego has no advantage. Instead, Lego integrates digital tools, games, and media, but is always anchored to physical play. And this is all why Lego continues to win. It doesn't aim to eliminate competitors, it aims to be the most trusted, the most compatible, and the most creatively flexible. And that makes Lego hard to replace, even when cheaper alternatives exist. This takes us to Chapter 7, Lego Today and the Future. Today, Lego is one of the most powerful toy brands in history. It produces hundreds of millions of minifigures annually, Lego movies, TV series and games, and educational programs used in schools worldwide. Lego has also committed to sustainability, renewable materials, and reducing plastic waste. Yet the core idea remains unchanged from 1934. Play well, build creatively, and learn through imagination. A Lego brick from 1958 still fits perfectly today, a physical symbol of consistency, quality, and timeless design. Now for a countdown on Lego's craziest sets ever made. Starting with number 10, the Lego World Map. This was released in 2021 and had 11,695 pieces. At first glance, it looks peaceful. This is one of the most repetitive Lego builds ever made. Why is it crazy? It has nearly 12,000 tiny dots, minimal color variation, and takes weeks to finish, but is somehow relaxing and exhausting at the same time. It's a bit of a Lego meditation. The next set, at number 9, the Lego Bugatti Chiron. Released in 2018, it has 3,599 pieces. And it isn't just a toy car, it's a mechanical statement. Here's why it's crazy. So this Lego set has a working 8-speed gearbox with moving pistons, suspension and steering, and designed with real Bugatti engineers. This was Lego proving it could compete with high-end model engineering. Set number 8, Lego Mindstorms, the robotics sets. This was first released in 1998. It was basically Lego, but intelligent, and here's why it was crazy. So these sets had programmable bricks with sensors and motors, and it was used in schools and competition and research, and still running in robotics leagues decades later. So in these sets, you would basically build and code your Lego pieces to move and function to your liking. Number 7, the Lego Technic R9800 excavator. Released in 2019, this set had 4,108 pieces, and it's a borderline industrial experiment. And here's why it's crazy. So this excavator is made up of multiple motors and gearboxes with a smartphone app control and realistic movement and weight distribution. It's one of Lego's most complex Technics builds ever. It feels less like Lego and more like engineering homework. Number 6, the Lego Colosseum. Released in 2020, this set has 9,036 pieces and is legendary for one reason: repetition. Why is it crazy? So it's constructed of a massive circular structure with brutally accurate architecture and is almost entirely the same color. And builders report serious brick fatigue when building this. It's stunning, but it demands patience. Number 5, Lego Hogwarts Castle. Released in 2018, this set garners 6,020 pieces, and it changed Lego's adult strategy forever. So it's crazy because it's got a huge footprint with fully detailed interior rooms, and it's designed primarily for adult fans. And it commonly takes between 20 to 30 hours to build. The success of this set proved that Lego could be display art, not just play sets. Number 4, the Lego Millennium Falcon. Released in 2017 with 7,541 pieces. This is fan service taken to the extreme. So why is it crazy? It's the largest Star Wars Lego set ever, with insane surface detailing, interior rooms, and minifigure scale features. It became an instant collector status symbol. Owning one of these sets has become a personality trait. Number 3, Lego Titanic. Released in 2021, this set has 9,090 pieces and is over 4 feet long. It's physically overwhelming. Why is it crazy? Well, it's longer than most coffee tables. The interior cross-section and engine rooms are quite detailed and meticulous, and is one of the heaviest Lego sets ever. It requires serious display space. You don't casually build the Titanic, you commit to it. Number 2, the Lego Eiffel Tower. Released in 2022, this set has 10,001 pieces. It's nearly 5 feet tall, the tallest Lego set that Lego's ever made. And it's crazy because of the sheer number count, the amount of pieces, over 10,000. It's built like real scaffolding, takes over 30 hours, and it dominates any room that it's in. It's basically Lego doing civil engineering. And this takes us to our number 1 crazy set from Lego. Lego Cloud City, released in 2003. With 698 pieces, the resale value on one of these items today is over $10,000 estimated. The set is legendary, but not for its size, but simply because of its rarity. It underwent a very limited production run. It included ultra-rare minifigures, and originally sold for only around $100 compared to what it's going for today. It's become the most valuable Lego set ever. And this set basically transformed Lego into a collector's market. So Lego never intended to make their sets as collector items. Early Lego sets were never designed to be rare. In the 1980s and 90s, sets were discontinued pretty regularly, and no one expected adults to keep the boxes, and Lego destroyed molds and retired parts quite frequently. So when sets disappeared, they were gone forever. The shift into Lego as collectibles started with minifigures, not sets. The minifigures mattered because they were small, they were character-driven, easy to display, and easy to resell. So some minifigures appeared in only one set, they were retired quickly, and represented iconic characters that people had an emotional connection with. So once fans realized this, that this tiny plastic figure could be worth hundreds of dollars, the Lego economy changed forever. For example, Cloud City Boba Fett alone became worth more than entire sets. Then came Star Wars. So Lego launched Star Wars sets in 1999, and three things happened essentially. Adults came back to Lego. So in 1999, we saw the prequel trilogy of Star Wars re-released with all the merchandise that came with it, and by this point, kids who had watched the original trilogy had now grown up and have disposable income and had something that Lego was producing they were connected to already. This brought adult fans back to Lego, and they bought these sets not to play with, but to display. And people started keeping the boxes and instructions. So for the first time, Lego sets were treated like models rather than toys. They were stored carefully and preserved for value. And Lego caught wind of this. What Lego learned from this, and they implemented this strategy after its early 2000s crisis, was to limit their production runs and retire sets after 1 to 3 years to create scarcity in the market and avoid reprinting identical versions. So this created predictable scarcity and collectible cycles and this feeling of buy now or regret it later behavior in its customer. This transformed Lego into a model company that happens to use bricks, which legitimized collecting. Some of my favorite Lego sets I had growing up and still have include the Lego Seinfeld set, the Lego Holocaust set. Oh my God, I went there. All right, that's enough. Anyway, here's my painting of Lego.